Hello, today we are looking at Ifa Mathematics, which is also called Theory Mathematics. So we continue the lecture from where we stopped in the previous one. We defined Ifa Mathematics in the previous lecture as the scientific study of energies manifesting as all elements of nature, including all fields and disciplines of knowledge. So in Ifa Mathematics, we are simply studying the energy, which is the core or essence of any element of nature. So, including fields and discipline in academia. So, if you are defining any aspects of Ifa mathematics, we represent them with energy, which is denoted with Ifa infinity, which is the double infinity symbol, also representing a vacuum. So in Ifa mathematics, we have tons of meta mathematical structures which we develop to study how energies uh, representing elements of nature, how they interact and how they relate and interrelate with one another. So some of those mathematical structures are Ifa numbers, which are also called theory numbers. So these are universal meta numbers that we use to perform operations and processes in Ifa mathematics. We also have Ifa algebra, which is also called theory algebra, which is the universe of all algebraic structures in mathematics. Then we have theory axiom, also called Ifa axiom. So Ifa axiom is the axiomatic universe. So in that universe we study axiomatics, that's the axiomatization of uh, the theory. In the axiomatic universe, we have the eight basic categories, which are the eight fundamental laws of principle, which we examined in one of the previous video lectures. We also have series of transformation uh, structure, mathematical structures we used to carry out transformation. That's how energy changes from one form to another. Everything that we see in nature is energy at its core. That is whether it is human beings, animals, plants, planets, sun, any element of nature, even fields and disciplines of knowledge. Underlying them is energy, which we call vacuum or nothing in Ifa mathematics or the theory. Today we are looking at Ifa algebra, also known as theory algebra. So we continue from where we stopped in the previous lecture. Now let's dissect the meaning of the two terms here, Ifa and algebra. As already explained in the introduction to the theory, Ifa was a polymath and thinker that existed in the beginning of the Homo sapiens era in ancient Yoruba land. Um, he was the one that invented many key elements of the Yoruba culture, such as the language called Yoruba, the various proverbs, different medicines, idioms, and the series of different aspects of the culture. Uh, so it was invented by Ifa. So he documented all his inventions, all his thoughts and philosophy in the system named after him since he existed. And that system is called Oduifa in Yoruba. So the Odufa means Ifa code in in uh, in English. So in some projects, we regard the Odufa as the ancient version of the system called the theory of everything in physics. So we call it the ancient theory because in the Odufa you have we have information on all fields of knowledge, whether it is physics, mathematics, philosophy, chemistry, biology, arts, drama, culture, music, anything at all. The Odufa talks about it. So now it's not just the way the information is structured, the way these fields of knowledge are structured in the Odufa, the math is so wondrous. They follow a specific algebraic structuring, which is which is mathematics that is even far, far ahead of modern math. So the mathematics of this system called Odufa is what is known as Ifa Mathematics. So in the Odufa, the fields of knowledge are represented using their core, which is their essence, that is their energy. So that is the approach we are using in this field of discipline. In essence, all fields of knowledge in Odufa are meta fields of Ifa Mathematics. So in Ifa Mathematics, we are studying all fields and discipline integrated together, unified and integrated together in the system, universal system called the TOE. That is for Ifa. So Ifa, distinct from Orunmila, uh, was as explained. Ifa existed in the beginning of the ancient era. However, in the Homo sapiens era, which started in Africa about 300,000 years ago, Orunmila also existed in some thousands of years after Ifa existed. So it was the one that introduced the system called Ifa or Odufa in Yoruba. So the name Ifa has undergone different evolutions across different eras in the Homo sapiens era. Ifa started from existing as a polymath and a thinker. It now became the system named after him called Odufa. So when people use Ifa today, they are not specifically referring to that Ifa that lived in the beginning of the Homo sapiens era. They are actually talking about the system he invented called the Odufa, which we regard as the ancient theory in SEN project. So Orunmila was one that reintroduced Ifa to ancient Yoruba land again. So also he developed the system called the Babalawo system, where they study all the writings and the knowledge that Ifa recorded and documented in the system called the Odufa. So the mathematics of the Odufa is just so wonderful. Like if you take time to study, as you are going to be discovering in this lecture, you will be astounded by the depth of the abstract algebra that is done in this mathematics. So Orunmila was also a polymath and thinker that existed several thousands of years after Ifa did. So he was one that reintroduced the system called Ifa to the Yoruba people in the ancient era. So Orunmila existed thousands of years before the popular philosopher and moralist Socrates did. Now let's move on to the second aspect of Ifa algebra, which is algebra. Now, algebra in mathematics, let's start from the elementary algebra that we all know from our elementary school and high school days. So elementary algebra has to do with the representation of numbers, quantities using letters and other symbols, where we perform different operations and equations on them to calculate certain unknowns and similar activities. So that is elementary algebra. Then we also have the more formal definition of algebra, that's in advanced classes, where it is regarded as a branch of mathematics that studies abstract systems known as algebraic structures and the manipulation of statements within those systems. So here we are talking about the algebra as a branch of mathematics where we study abstract systems called algebraic structures. So these are mathematical structures. So we all know the different areas under this branch. We have abstract algebra, we have categorical algebra, we have Boolean algebras, Banach algebra, the Domogran's algebra, and so many other algebras that are studied in algebra. Then some people also define algebra or algebra over a field as an algebraic structure consisting of a set together with the operations of multiplication and addition and scalar multiplication by elements of a field, satisfying certain axioms. So generally, when we are talking about an algebra, we are mainly talking about a set and some operations which they can be morphism, transformation, and so on and so forth. So we are basically talking about two key things: a set and one or two operations. So depending on the specific algebraic structure that we are talking about, if we are talking about a group, so we only talk about, we mainly focus on the set, Then operation, the operation in that regard is multiplication, that's composition. So we talk about the four group axioms of closure, identity, and others. So that is for algebra. However, in Ifa algebra, which is a theory algebra, our focus is not on our focus is actually on the core or essence of any algebraic structure. Ifa algebra is the universe of all algebras in existence. It is the container and fundamental building block of all algebraic structures in mathematics. Even the ones that are yet to be built, they are found in this universe of algebras. So we define an algebra, any algebra at all, in any branch of mathematics or even meta mathematics, such as category theory, the Langlands program, uh, universal algebra or co-algebra and the likes. We define them simply as a state or form of energy. The definition of energy of mind here, so we define them as a state or form of energy. So we simply mean that an algebra is a state or form of mind, is a state of mind, a mental state. Here we define mind as energy as well. We just define mind as a state of energy. So that means we are simply saying that you are focusing on the core, the essence of that algebra, any algebra at all, any algebraic structure at all. You are focusing on its essence, its underlying nature, which is the energy. So in Ifa Mathematics, we are studying the energy of any field or discipline. If you are studying an algebra, we study the energy, the core of that algebraic structure. And for us to study the core of the structure, we use different structures, different meta structures. For example, in Ifa Mathematics, we basically use this thing called Ifa. They are called Ifa objects. They are Ifa seeds. So these are what we use to represent the energy of any element of nature we are studying, any field we are studying. We represent them with Ifa objects. So in Ifa Mathematics, we have Ifa objects and operations. That's we have things and relation between those things. That's a transformation. Let me explain what I mean further. So what I'm saying is that in Ifa Mathematics, we have two basic things. We have Ifa objects. So these Ifa objects are Ifa, they're also called Ifa seeds. They are this seashell. This seashell that we have, they are Ifa objects. We normally use 8 of them. Then we want to do computations in Ifa Mathematics. We also find the dual. We use the dual of those Ifa objects, making 16 in total. 16 objects in total. So here we are just talking about things. So Ifa objects now, this one, they represent any element of nature, whether we are talking about fields or disciplines of knowledge, whether we are talking about human beings, we want to study human beings, we want to study anything at all. We represent them with Ifa objects, standing for the energy of that our object of study. Then we also talk about relationships between objects. So this one now, to study the relationship between objects, we basically use transformation. However, this transformation is not the same transformation that is done in mathematics. This transformation is actually meta transformation, because here we are focusing on the energy of any element of nature, and we study the relation between any object or more, any two or more objects using this transformation. Here we are just talking about energy transformation here, energy or vacuum transformation. So this, we also call it Ifa transform or energy transform. So Ifa transform is the universe of all transforms done in mathematics. So any transform that is done in mathematics, you find it residing within this universe. So whether it is Laplace transform, whether it is Zille transform, Fourier transform, any transform at all, they are in the universe of the transformational universe. Also, all processes and other transformations in all fields and disciplines, we study them within this universe called Ifa transform or theory transform. So it's a very, very general and universal meta structure. So we now define an algebra formally in Ifa Mathematics as a state of mind, as a form or state of energy. And that energy is specifically consciousness energy, CEN. What we are saying is that algebra, so you can represent an algebra with this scripted A. And in Ifa Mathematics, we denote everything with their energy. It's different from the approach in the mathematics. Yeah, we represent energy with everything with their energy, as I explained in the previous lecture. So we put the Ifa infinity, the draw infinity as the down there as a subscript, showing that this variable here, we are focusing on its core or its essence, which is its energy. So that is defined. So we represent any algebra. Now this is a generic definition. So you can refer to any algebra in mathematics. Yeah, we are only focusing on that idea, the thoughts in the brain. So it's defined as 0 or you are saying that algebra is a form. Sorry. We are saying that algebra is a form or state of energy. Now, this is the universal definition of any entity, any element of nature studied in Ifa mathematics or theory mathematics. Whether we are studying maths, we are studying English, chemistry, biology, physics, even the intersection of biophysics, biochemistry, biomathematics, any field at all, any field of knowledge at all. This is our universal definition. We define it as a form or state of energy. Now, this is everything that we study in Ifa mathematics is just this symbol, this entity, energy, vacuum. That is all we study. Is the just so now when here this is another universe of knowledge on its own. It's another knowledge universe on it because it's so broad and comprehensive. So we have the definition of an algebra. Then so we want to perform. We want to work with this. So you define something using this universal definition, this symbol. We want to study how it evolves. So as I explained in the previous video lecture, this energy evolves in 8 series. So it's actually a key philosophy, a key notion in Ifa philosophy, which is also called theory philosophy. That energy in this in our universe, this region of the universe, energy evolves in 8 series. That is, then that 8 we also have its dual, making a total of 16. That is why we see the Ifa scholars and priests when they are doing the divination, they use the system in the system called the Opon Ifa that they use. You see, they use Ifa, that thing is called Ifa. They are just seeds. They use 16 of them. Or if they are using the chain, there's something called the Okpele chain. When they are throwing the chain, they want to do divination. That means they want to tap into the unknown to solve certain problems that the clients have. So when they throw that Okpele chain, when they throw the chain, you see that the chain has 8 objects. That it has 2 sides, up and down. It has 2 sides, the top and the bottom. So it is called, those 2 sides are called Oju and Odi in Yoruba. So by the time you look at the total configuration there, you have 16. That is for each object you have the opposite. That's 8 top and 8 bottom. That is 16 in total. So by the time they do composition operation on that uh, configuration, that's those objects, they are going to have 16 by 16, 16 by 16. So by the time they compose the two of them, 16 by 16. So by the time they do composition on each of that's the operation, the chain they use, one has 16, they compose it with another 16. Then they are going to generate 256 codes, which are Ifa codes or Odus in Yoruba. Now these codes are different from the computer codes that you are familiar with. These are universal meta codes, because they represent energy. So we are going to be doing this coding a lot in Ifa Mathematics. So in Ifa Mathematics, we count in universal zeros and universal ones, like I explained in the previous video lecture. So here we have the Ifa pair. So all the results that are generated from this operation, this computation operation, they fall within this system. Universal 0 and universal 1. So we are going to continue from this point in the next lecture. So let's stop at this juncture. Thank you.